We match again. Well, not really, but thought that last night we matched.
We match in the way that I'm your son.
Yeah,
We share the same last name.
we do. We have matching names.
Yes.
Okay. Just gonna check here, make sure. I'll let you do that. Got to get used to that.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody.
Looks like
Yeah,
we're live on YouTube at least.
5 p.m.
Hey, Tony.
Eastern. Hi, Tony. Just double checking that. I saw your message like just before and replied just before I got on. Oh, yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. Oops. Hopefully, people get it. I sent out an email today that said 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Eastern. No, 5 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. But hey, at least the times were different, so hopefully people are able to deduce as Tony did. Thanks, Tony.
Yes. Looks like we're going to get a pretty decent turnout.
Yeah. Hi, Jessica, Alexandra, Lisa, Molly. Yay. Glad you found me. We should be live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Hi, Christy. Hi, Sheila. Megan, hello. Kate, hello. Julie. Can you tell Jonas if we're live on all of them?
I need to get signed into your Instagram account real quick.
Okay. Let us know how you guys are doing.
Not. Shoot.
What's the weather like where you are? It's really nice here in Phoenix area. Sunny. Went for a couple walks today.
Still just hot as heck over there.
Yeah. Well, it's 70s, so we're not hot yet.
Not bad.
Yeah. 70 and sunny. Susie. Susie's actually in Arizona too, Tucson. Hi, Julie. Wow. Tyra, hello, you guys. Thanks for joining us. I am looking forward to delivering a few validations and messages. I was already getting some impressions before I came on, so I know it's going to be good. I'll wait for a couple more minutes, let you guys join us. Cold and super windy, Tyra, in New Hampshire. Oh my. Stay warm. Hey, at least for March now, so hopefully you don't have too long of a winter or cold spring ahead. 70 and humid in Florida. There's Alexandra. Hello. I'll put my glasses on here. Can you tell if we're live, Jonas, on all of them?
Live on Facebook and YouTube.
Okay. Do I need to do something for the Instagram?
Yeah, it looks like there's a bit of setup required for it, which we can.
It's interesting because I did it. Okay. There we go. Yeah, let us know where you're joining from, what the weather's like. I think I need to do this part, do I?
Yeah. We will be answering questions tonight.
Yes.
Assuming that Mom stops talking long enough for me to ask one.
It's not just a spirit thing. Actually, I think I ramble less when I'm doing spirit connections. Okay. I can't. So, Jonas, I'm here. If you sign on, does it show you?
And just from Streamlab, it needs your, or not Streamlab, geez. StreamYard, it needs your Instagram.
Oh, yes, Instagram yes. Okay. Yep. It just didn't give me the notice like it did yesterday. So, just head there. Here we go. I want to make sure I get our Instagram followers. It's the last time in December. I made promises that I did not keep. Okay, stream key. It's given that to me now. So this should work.
Awesome.
And I'm not sure if we're able to see our YouTube followers. Hi, Stephanie from Florida. Hey, Teresa. Jojo. Jojo's mom. Okay. Now, we should be live on Instagram now as well. Yay.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, I see people joining us. Now I just don't know how, you cannot help me with this, Jonas, but I can't get the screen off of my Instagram screen, which is okay. And that ends up what I'm seeing, which I think it's actually Instagram that has the lag, because I'm seeing it. I was seeing everything fine until the Instagram popped up. But thank you for joining us from Instagram. I'll be looking away a lot anyway, so it won't distract me. Facebook, wherever you're joining from. So Jonas, I'm no longer able to see the StreamYard comments. Are you able to?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll monitor that, and you can like pass the comments or questions along to me that way, since I'm unable to see that. Thank you, Jonas, for helping me. If you guys don't know Jonas, he is my son, and he is helping me with the podcast. I wouldn't be having the podcast Get Spirited. It's new, so if you haven't heard from it, you can check it out on any platform where you're listening to podcasts. Get Spirited, and I was pleasantly surprised that Jonas is actually an active participant too, not just doing the tech end. So that's been fun to have conversations with Jonas, and really appreciate you, Jonas, helping me here. I haven't done messages in a while. So, guys, if you're new to me, or are unfamiliar with my Letters from Heaven that I used to do, Letters from Heaven were readings that I gave where I didn't need to be on the phone or video. I would just connect for someone, not even knowing who the relationship was at first. I did change that for letters because I would get a lot of information that came through from different loved ones who had passed. And so what I would do is connect with their past loved ones, write everything up, so I wouldn't even get the recipients, my clients, validation until after I sent them my connection. So the way I do readings live on social media, I've only done Facebook in the past. This is my first time doing this on YouTube and Instagram, but I call them postcards from heaven, like my letters from heaven. These are like little mini readings, hellos, but it's the same format for me, and that I will get all the information, relay what I'm seeing, hearing, or feeling, and put it out there. And you can let us know in the comments if you relate, if you connect with the information. You don't have to connect with all of the information, but most of it, and there may be some me toos there, but I just wanted to explain that. So it's different than when I do group readings. In group readings, I get a few specific validations, find the person, and then continue the connection with their person here. But it's just easier for me, I find, on social media to do it this way. I feel like I get more from spirit, and it's fun to sometimes the messages somebody will listen later or comment after the fact. So hi, Lisa. I will just keep going, but definitely we'll be pausing here to see if anybody connects with the information as well. See how many messages I can bring through, validations I can bring through. I'm getting tongue-tied and my nose is running, which is like my spirit thing. I was definitely feeling your loved ones around before I even got started and getting some information that I jotted down. Let's see here. Anything I need to explain, Jonas? You haven't shared?
Not that I can really think of off the top of my head.
Okay. But yeah, if you guys have questions, put them in the comments. But while I'm doing the readings, if you can connect with the information, let us know as well. We look forward to bringing your loved ones through, and also maybe even in between connections, answering some questions that you guys might have about mediumship, about your own connection with your past loved ones, anything at all. If I don't have the answer, I will say so. Okay. So I'm just going to invite in our collective loved ones, angels, spirit helpers. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for bringing through validations and messages, giving us that confidence and that reassurance, reminder that you are always around. You guys, I scribble, take notes. It's just part of my process. So I'm going to start doing that as I get started here and see who comes through first. Now, when I do these connections on social media, I might get a little more of crossover, meaning like where I'm not doing a group reading and identifying the person necessarily in the moment. There might be sometimes at the end of a connection where I'm actually starting to connect with someone else. Okay. So sometimes in the transition there, I might be picking up on not just me too's, but actually somebody else coming in. So just let us know if you can relate. Okay. I have a couple people around. First of all, I have a young man. I want to identify him as older teenager or young adult. I feel like we have celebrated his 21st birthday since he's passed, because he's talking about being present for his 21st birthday, but since he's passed. So I'm going to go older teenager, again, young adult. He shows me a car accident. He shows me being behind the wheel. He shows me being behind the wheel himself. So this is a young man who would have passed in a car accident. He was behind the wheel. He showed me someone wears a bracelet for me. And it reminds them to drive safely. So he has a loved one or loved ones who have bracelets for him, wear bracelets for him. Bracelet. I want to say more than one people have the bracelet, but he's showing me being with somebody and how they look at the bracelet and it reminds them to drive safely. A good kid, even though I feel like he's a young adult, I do feel like we're either close to graduation. I don't know if he just graduated or was getting ready to graduate. He shows me a church service. He shows me a communion service or a formal service. So this would have either been where we had his celebration of life memorial service, or we had a separate service. As I say that, he tells me we had a separate service for him. So we had a separate service. I'm seeing like a formal cross and almost like communion, losing my words here, bends or things. And this might represent a traditional like Catholic or a more formal Christian denomination, right? So but I do feel like we had a separate service for him at this church that he's wanting to acknowledge. I don't know. I do feel like his passing, it's been at least a couple of years since he's passed. I don't feel like it's been super long, but he wants to talk about the birthday party, the 21st birthday party. He also wants to talk about having multiple celebrations for him since he's passed. So I know that he's been passed, I think, a couple years or more, because he wants to show me that. He also talks about the month of February being important. He shows me a girl with this. It might be someone he's on the spirit side with, or someone here. I want to say a younger, like a friend or sister. He's wanting to acknowledge. He also shows me too that he's with dad when he's driving. And there's something about wearing the steering wheel or something worn on the steering wheel that I don't feel like has to do with like his car accident per se. But he might have something on the steering wheel or near the steering wheel. I'm not sure what that means actually. So hopefully you'll be able to connect with that information, whoever this is for, when they hear this. I want to say too, he's talking about being with a grandmother. He's talking about being with mom who is here, and he hears her when she says her prayers and when she talks to him. And I feel like the grandmother is a mom's side of the family. Yeah, that he's talking about being with. He says too that he's good. He's talking about a blonde boy. I don't know if it's him or somebody else, but he showed me somebody with a clean cut haircut, a fresh haircut. So I don't know if this has to do with he had just gotten a haircut, or he has, I feel like this is in the family. So a brother or a young man in the family that just got a haircut that he's wanting to acknowledge. And it looks really sharp. It looks really good, he says. He says too that he has talking about the macaroni and cheese, homemade macaroni and cheese that he loves. He's also saying too, don't cry for me. I feel like this has something to do with either lyrics or a phrase or a poem or something like this. And I don't, it's not a message per se, but I feel like he's giving me lyrics or something that somebody has said or read. Yeah, don't cry for me. Okay. And I feel like with that, do we have anyone, Jonas? I'm curious if we have anybody connecting with these messages.
Not in the not that anyone is confirmed now.
Okay. So it might be that somebody we get it. That's the thing with social media too, and I like doing it this way because sometimes there's some in and out, and we might get comments after the fact, or it might just be that who somebody hasn't joined us yet, who this message is for. Yeah, I'm seeing. I want to say he's blonde, or the young man with the blonde hair, the brother. He's wanting to acknowledge too. Blonde. I don't know if I said blonde before. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe dishwater blonde, he said. Okay. I think he's good stepping back here. Yeah, okay. He's wanting to acknowledge someone's dog who has passed. Now, this is where I'm starting to feel the energy shift. I'm not sure if he's referencing somebody's dog, like who hears this will know. I feel like this, uh-oh, that just, my screen went black. Did that happen to you?
Oh, no.
Okay. So the dog that he's with, it reminds me of like a Pekingese, like with the long floppy ears and a cute face, but it doesn't have like it's got like a cute, not like the flat nose, but like a Pekingese or a dog that looks like this. I'm not sure if I don't think this is his dog. It's not his dog. I'm not sure if he's referring to a dog. Whoever listens to this will know somebody had a dog like this that just passed. As well, or if I'm starting to pick up on him bringing somebody else in or helping someone's dog come through. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there, and we'll keep checking the comments here and see. Of course, it might be something that somebody has to listen to the replay. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I want to say somebody's dad is here, and he's wanting to talk about a birthday. Dad stepping forward, a birthday. So it would either be dad's birthday, your birthday, a family celebration birthday. If it's not his, it's somebody important to him, and somebody listening would be celebrating this birthday as well. I feel too like he's talking about thank you. Major health issues. He talks about having several things going on. He wants to show me, something that they tried to do with a tube, but it didn't work. It almost feels like he's referring to his like organs like as mechanics, and something wasn't like as it should be in his body. And like, so the tube didn't work, the tubing didn't work. He's acknowledging that as being significant. I'm also getting to a sense of him being in his senior years. I feel like he's someone he's very intelligent, very well respected, very well educated, I feel like as well. And he's talking too about wearing his khakis and his button down shirt. There's something about a yellow, I don't know if this is a button down or not, but there's a yellow shirt. Okay. His button down shirt and or yellow shirt he's talking about. He's talking about too, he wants to show me cleaning his glasses. I feel like his glasses are still here. Like somebody still has his glasses that he would wear, eyeglasses. And I feel too like he's talking about seeing the, he's showing me babies on the spirit side. I don't know exactly how this connects, but I feel like there's either a baby that's been born, or a baby that has passed that he sees. I feel like there's actually a baby around that sees him, that sees grandpa. So I feel like this would be like grandchild. Yeah. I'm not sure about that, so I'm going to leave that part there. Do you have any comments on this one, Jonas? In the comments, if you can connect.
Earlier, Vidya said the dirty blonde could be her daughter, not son though. Terry said it could be her dad. Lisa said her birthday was Saturday. Megan said birthday was yesterday, and that relates to someone who's like a grandpa to them. Oh, it's Tyra's birthday today, whose dad is on the other side. And Lisa said it might be her grandpa.
Okay. Let us know, guys, if you can connect with the other validations, the eyeglasses, the khakis, the button down and or yellow shirt. because I feel like that part is what he's kind of like repeating. So that might help hopefully somebody make that distinction. Please, you guys take it if you feel a hello, if you feel the presence of your loved ones, a hello, take a me too. But they try to give me some specifics of like that will help place them with, that specific details as well. So yeah, I'll look on that for that. I want to say too, that there's I keep seeing a cute baby. He showed me a cute, healthy baby, big eyes. And dark hair, like brown hair, dark hair, really healthy. So I'm not sure though how to place the baby exactly, other than that physical description. That's the part that's clear to me. So if that's a grandchild or you can connect with that as well, let me know. Yeah. I think it's a boy because I'm seeing blue, like a blue little like sweatshirt and sweatpants, but on the baby, but I'm not sure with that. Okay. I want to say too, yeah, I'm kind of, and maybe I'll go back, you guys, in the comments with the car accident when you mentioned somebody talking about their daughter. But now that I have, another connection, I'll probably wait and go back with that. Yeah. Okay. So but I do feel like the one who passed, the child who passed in the car accident was a son. Is what it felt like to me, or young man. Yeah. Okay. I want to say, yeah, might have been acknowledging his or here. Okay. So I went with the yellow shirt. Do we have anything on that, Jonas? Because I feel like that's really important.
I don't believe on the yellow
Okay.
shirt. Megan, Tyra, Susie, and Lisa said it could be their grandpas.
Could be theirs. Okay, maybe a few coming together here with that. I want to say too that I feel like he's just I feel like he has a message of just letting everybody know that he's okay. I do feel like he's somebody who was very logical, very intelligent. I feel like he was showing me not really sure about all this when he was here. So he's someone who might have been more about like, I don't know, maybe everything just ends. Maybe we just go into darkness. So I feel like he is somebody who you should be able to relate to that information too. And he's like happy to come through and like prove, I don't want to say prove himself wrong, but like say, hey, this is really cool. I'm able to communicate with you now this way. So hopefully one of you guys can relate to that, but please take it as hellos from your people. I also feel too, like there's a little car and he goes back to a little car, kind of reminds me of like a Volkswagen or a little car he's talking about. I'm almost seeing it like as a model car. So I'm not really sure about that, if it's like a model that he has or going back to just a little tiny car like that. He's talking about that. He's also saying too that he has and it's so funny because he keeps bringing back the yellow shirt and now the glasses too. So he's really wanting to make sure his person knows that it's him with those details. So if you don't have his glasses, he certainly would have worn glasses. And I'm seeing like the little wire rim spectacles, like or somebody if you don't have them, somebody in the family would have them. His glasses still, yeah. I feel like mom is still here, but I feel like he's with his mom and other loved ones on the spirit side. I mean, his wife. So whoever dad this is, like I feel like his wife is still here. Okay. Hopefully that will help make the connection. And I feel like to the medical references are that. So let us know, you guys, what the information you can connect with. That would be great. It's always nice to hear that you connect with it and what makes sense to you. Yeah. So sometimes I would say spirit's always right. I am not. And especially when I'm doing these, I don't have that opportunity to kind of work through it. But I do know that they'll bring through specific details when I'm doing these to make sure that they find their home. The messages find their home. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, this is interesting. I almost feel I'm getting a younger person coming forward. I feel like this person is wanting to acknowledge a lady here. And he's saying like, you're looking really good. He's wanting to acknowledge a health journey. He's talking about like the new running shorts or the new butt in the running shorts. I don't know. But he's saying you're looking good. Keep up the good work. He's like, when I asked if this was flirtatious, he's like, ooh, no. So this is probably more of a blood relative. But he is wanting to acknowledge the new running shorts, or maybe running or just working out, especially the lower half of the body looking good. And definitely it's something that the person here hearing this would know that you have been improving your physical health in this way, physical fitness, I want to say, with this. And I do feel like either getting, going running or getting a new pair of running shorts or wearing them more, something like that would be significant to the person reading this. It just blacked out again. That's weird. Okay, it's back on. It's like it just went black, but then when I touch the pad, it comes back on.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm just getting a quick hello from somebody. I do feel like this is a younger person. I don't know the age he was when he passed, but I don't want to place him over in the middle age. And that's about as specific as I can get as far as like his age goes with this gentleman, this man. But I do feel like he's wanting, his message is more about like, good job, letting you know that he's around, and on your fitness journey, like giving you a thumbs up for that. Again, it might be a son, it might be a brother or another relative that is wanting to acknowledge this. Yeah. Also, too, he says, look for the pennies, look for the coins as a sign for him. I feel like specifically there's been a penny that he has sent, but also look for other coins. And also he says he's correcting me here a little bit, like, or backing up a little bit here. Saying that you're finding pennies and you're wanting them to be a sign from him, but you might flip over the date or something and it doesn't connect. So you might be finding pennies and you're unsure if it's from him or not. So it doesn't mean he's not sending them to you, but he knows that you either just recently found a penny or you're looking for them. And it's his way of letting you know that he's around. So with that, but good job on the health. And I want to say like overall wellness journey too, because I'm seeing some kind of like meditation or energy work as well with the person hearing this. I feel like this might be a son for his mom, actually. I could be wrong. It might be a brother, but feeling into the feelings he gives me as he's communicating, that's kind of the vibe I get here. Do you have any comments on this one, Jonas?
Not.
And there's something about looking
at Susie thinks it could be for her. Christine thinks that's her son.
Okay. This might be as soon as you said Susie, I got a little ding. So that is the good thing about when people are in the time. So maybe he'll hear it. But also too, Susie, would you understand like looking at the bike, whether it's like your bike or his bike, something about the bike too? Yeah. The bike, the pennies. Again, this young man is wanting to acknowledge, I feel like mom's health journey, looking good in the running shorts, looking for pennies or finding pennies from him. And just wanting to give you like a high five here on your wellness journey and saying, keep up the good work. Also the meditation and energy work as well. He sees like the whole mind, body, spirit there with that. Yeah. And there's something about the bike that feels a little bit separate. So I might end up picking this up from somebody else who I connect with as well. But I do feel like this young man is wanting to talk about the bike as far as like, I don't think it's around you now, but it might be more about like doing something with his bike or just looking at a picture of him on a bike, something like that. That feels a little bit disconnected from the other messages, but I still feel like that's from him. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Lisa connects with Albie too. Oh, I love that. The running. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I realize some people are coming on and not hearing, at different times, not hearing everything. You guys, the replay will be up afterwards. So please, if you're listening to the replay, go back and listen from the beginning so you can catch all the validations and messages. Okay. And thanks for sharing as we go along here. Okay. I'm going to take a break here. Okay, I have somebody's mom coming forward. As she comes forward, she's wanting to acknowledge having a lot of anxiety here. I'm seeing her with dark hair. She may have like dyed it even darker or dyed it a dark color because it has that look to it. Like it almost looks like a naturally dark for her like skin complexion. She's showing me a lot of like nerve issues here and anxiety. She says I was like nervous all my life, but I do feel like this kind of got worse as she got older. So I want to say like physically, like her nerves, but also like anxiety too, emotionally. I do feel like she wants to talk about the medication, not something not right about the medication. She's also talking too about, there's this sense of like, I was in my kitchen and I feel like she might've been in her kitchen. Like, I don't know if she was just doing dishes or by the dishes or something like this. I do feel like, this is maybe like kind of like, what I would get was like maybe a last vivid memory or close to my passing, something like this. And there's something that's not right about the medication. So I do feel like there might have been a medication interaction or something to do with medication that she couldn't take. I'm not sure, but the medication is significant to her. And again, with the dark hair, I see her as having, she says she's very much at peace. You guys, all of your loved ones are. I only say that when I relay it from them, when these are the words that they're giving me, that she wants to bring through reassurance that she is at peace and that it's almost like she has finally found peace and has that calm that I feel like she had a hard time or didn't experience here. I feel too like she had a lot of going to the nerve issues a little bit. She might have even have been like physically shaky, at least in her older years is how I'm seeing her. Yeah. So I don't know if this is how long standing that issue is. Okay. But acknowledging that. I also feel like too, there's something about her makeup she's wanting to acknowledge. I feel like this might be somebody having put makeup on her or helping her with makeup that she's talking about. I feel too like Jonas, does anybody connect with this? I feel like I kind of want to
It might be Julie who has a mom with Parkinson's.
Okay, who's passed. And the dark hair?
Does not say.
Okay, that's fine. Maybe so. I want to say here too that she's talking about make the flowers for me or do something with the flowers for me. So she likes this. I want to say too, I'm seeing almost like a sign or something like long and rectangular, like with a big flower bloom on one end of it here when she shows me this. Yeah. So this might have been something that we've done or she likes that you're going to do. She also says too that I feel like she's wanting to acknowledge a little girl that she's close to, relative. I don't know if this is like a granddaughter, but she's wanting to acknowledge a granddaughter who might be grown. I'm not sure. She's wanting me to slow down here just a little bit. She's talking about the Rose or Rosie. She's given me a name like this too. So yeah. And she's saying that she's good and that she's talking about having sweet dreams. So this might be dream visits or have some other significant meaning for you. Her saying sweet dreams. Yeah. Do we have any more is it Julie on that?
Julie's mom does have black hair.
Okay.
And she also just said, never left home without makeup, and guardian of my sister, her other daughter.
Okay. So that That makes sense here. I was going to say sometimes people will show me a child or a grandchild at a young age, just so I understand the impression that I see them this way. I'm protecting them, that kind of thing. So when you say guardian, you're supposed to, okay, so yeah, that makes sense. Even though it's not granddaughter but sister. Yeah. Okay. And I want to say too that she has a something about the flower. She wants to make sure that you don't forget the flowers, big bloom here, and like doing something with it, arranging it on something. Again, I'm seeing that rectangular thing that she's showing me again with that. So that might have been something we did or thinking of doing for mom. Okay. She says too that there's a she said there's other people here she wants to help come through, but no, she's always close by and she's absolutely at peace. And yeah, not shaking anymore, not having those issues anymore, and to feel good about that. I feel like she's wanting to show me like going around on the spirit side, like being able to do things with her hands that she wasn't able to do here, and think of her this way as the hobbies that she would like to do with her hands, like doing all this again. She's just going like this, showing me this, that she's able to touch things without breaking them, not dropping them, breaking them. She's showing me. Okay. So yeah, take that love from her. She leaves you with a big kiss. Yeah, blows a kiss to me. She says, okay, thank you. She steps aside. You guys, there's a guy here all tatted up. So guy likes his tattoos. I feel like too, he would wear like maybe a watch or a Fitbit or something too, because I can see this on his arm as well. I feel like there's a large cross that he's wanting to acknowledge, but there's also like, this may be someone who like had it like a whole, would we call this a sleeve? Like covered kind of thing. There's a guy like this. He would have kept his hair short or shaved, because I can tell that, like I can see like the top of his head, the shape of his head with that. And he's talking to about being, and he's proud of his physique too. So he comes in, I feel like form-fitting shirt on here, like he's just been working out. But yeah, he's also talking to about, he has, I was first seeing him like in a t-shirt and I think a dark, I was going to say black, but I also see a dark blue t-shirt of his. I think he'd wear dark blue, he'd wear black. But then I started seeing him like in a tank top too, like a tank top. He says he's good. I feel like too, he always had some like a toothpick or chewing on something. Like I want to put something in my mouth with him. And he's saying too that I don't know why he's showing me his feet. This guy's like head to toe. But there's something about his, this is odd. I think he had like a toe that like curled over another one, or a crooked toe, something like this. I don't know if it was like born that way or an injury or what, but he's showing me that. Yeah. He also wants to show me taking something out of his wallet. I don't know if this is ID or what, but I feel like somebody has something that they took out of his wallet and that would have significant meaning to the person listening to this. I don't know exactly what that means, but he's showing me that. He's saying too that he has a, again, I want to chew on something. I don't know if he always had like a toothpick or gum or just something in his mouth. He's showing me this. I don't, so all about his physical appearance here. He's coming in with this as a hello. I don't know if anybody can connect with that, but he was specific with like the tattoos. On one part of his body, I feel like he's covered, but I don't feel like he's not, there's a cross, and he would wear like a watch or a band, and again, short or shaved head. And nice physique. He looks to me like somebody that would work out frequently, even though he's not showing me working out. Yeah. And I feel like the shirts, there's either a special like black, there's dark blue, and then there's a tank top too that he's wanting to acknowledge. So this might be shirts that you have of his, or like this was the only thing that he wore kind of thing. I'm not sure, but he's showing me that. He says too that he's gotten, He just said, I got ahead of myself. He's talking about walking into the room. I do feel like he's somebody who is confident. I feel like he wants to like walk into the room and like people notice him, and he's very confident, like introducing himself to people. I feel like he's outgoing, but I also feel like he like really worked at this too. So yeah, I feel like too he may have to do this as part of his work, like go and meet new people, because there's something about this that he's talking about, like he had to work at this and going, and he's showing me like going introducing himself to people. No. Do we have anybody relating to this, Jonas? Comments?
Diana said that it could be Dustin. Does not specify son, husband, any of that. Kimberly said, my son had a cross tattoo on his chest. We found tons of his IDs, short hair. He was proud of his body towards the end. We always teased about his feet, flat feet.
Okay. That is, oh, I can't hear you now, Jonas. It just like,
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yeah?
Okay, so it went, all of a sudden it was muted even though I didn't touch it. So I had to unmute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
That's
Interesting.
weird. So you guys, all of a sudden there was an X through this even though I hadn't even touched the computer. I think they're messing with me. But now I'm
Oh,
echo.
definitely someone's giving us a hard time on the tech end.
Okay.
Oh, Kimberly says, as I was reading Kimberly's message, that started happening, and Kimberly said that Steven, which I presume is her son, also messes with electronics.
Okay. So he'll definitely take that. And he's the one with the flat feet and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So definitely. Oh, good. I'm so glad that we were able to connect and get any Me Too's there. But yeah, really good at that, because I was like, what just happened, and happened to just cross through that. I didn't even touch it, but I had to unmute it. Okay. And now the echo is quick, but you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Crazy cool day in my life. So not surprising, but that is really cool, Kimberly.
Oh, of course, it's a cool spirit story for you, but me, the tech guy, is going, oh gosh.
It's all good. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to slow down a little bit and see if you guys have any questions. And I might still get a couple more hellos. Again, you guys, if you're just joining, please listen back to the replay. I brought it through a few hellos. I have a feeling, especially with the first young man, that that the person wasn't on yet. So feel after once this gets posted later. But for now, if you have any, this was a young man who passed in a car accident. I'll just say that really quick. And he wanted to acknowledge the bracelet that somebody wears for him. And that reminds them to drive safely, he was saying. And then he showed me like a formal church service. So I guess I'm repeating everything he said. But if I forget any details, listen back. But if you can connect with that. And he wanted to acknowledge either a fresh haircut of his or brother. And I was seeing like sandy blonde, brown, dishwater blonde hair. So yeah, with that, a formal communion or something kind of service that was separate. And he showed me several actually celebrations that we've had for him since he's passed, over maybe a couple years or more. Not sure. Okay. So any questions you guys have, go ahead and put them in the chat. Jonas, can you tell if we're getting comments from YouTube and Instagram on the StreamYard as well?
We are.
And Facebook, we are?
Yep.
Awesome.
Everything's working smoothly, barring Spirit's interruptions.
Okay, do we have any questions?
Yes, we have had a couple throughout the stream. Susie wanted to ask, do spirits remember their earthly life and events once they have passed?
Yes, absolutely. Before that, I'm drawing a vase of flowers. Molly, if you're still with us, I know Molly, I don't know who this is from, if this is from her husband or dad, but I just heard the lyrics to Miley Cyrus's song, You Can Buy Yourself Flowers, and buy yourself some flowers. And I'm drawing a vase of flowers. So somebody, Molly, is wanting you to buy yourself flowers. I don't know what the occasion is. I just had to put that out there. Yeah, say that. Yes. Do they remember the events of their life? That was the question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So what they do is they'll often talk about like not carrying baggage. They definitely experience healing from any negative events. They do seem to have awareness of that in regards to sharing that as far as like they don't carry it anymore or healing. Now, as far as like same goes with trauma, you guys, they do not carry trauma from their passing. They sometimes will bring through details. They do have an awareness usually of how they pass. The exception is sometimes when I get babies or very small children, when I feel like sometimes other family members on the spirit side will help them communicate. But that sense of extra protection, but they do have an awareness of how they passed. Now, they in the moment of their passing, they will show me. Sometimes they'll take me to almost like a scene. And I don't see it like as if I'm there in it, but there are certain things they will highlight that they want to use to communicate. So they might show me, like this week, I connected with a young man who kept talking about the tracks at the scene, the tracks. And then at the end of the reading, the mom told me that was very significant because the police had to there was an investigation and they actually had to like go through the tracks, right? So sometimes they'll communicate with symbols, but often it's like they'll show me like that. So something like that is something about their passing that happened after the fact that they wouldn't have experienced. So they even have an awareness of things happen, good, bad, indifferent, after they've passed as well. The important thing to know is they don't carry any like lower emotions from it, if that makes sense. So they don't communicate, impress upon me and they'll even say that too. Like it's very objective from their perspective. So they're very objective about any of the negative events, of whether it's around their passing or even otherwise. And often when they bring up negative events from their life, it's almost always, especially when they want to go back to the past, and it's negative, it's almost always they want to talk about how they've let go of this and they don't carry any baggage from this, whether it's a relationship they never got over when they were here, maybe a difficult or even abusive relationship with a parent, anything at all that's negative, work situations, they will bring up those things. But again, I can't recall a time where they don't bring it up because what will follow the validation of whatever it was is this, like, I don't carry this. I don't carry this. I'm over it. I've healed from this. It doesn't bother me now. And yeah, they'll bring in even humor with it sometimes, like, yeah, so-and-so was a jerk, but it's okay now, things like that. So I hope that makes sense. They definitely carry all their happy memories. They'll show me, they'll a lot of times do this. Like, this is my symbol and I'll feel love with this too. Like, I carry this with me. This is my heart. This is like, I treasure this memory. I cherish this time. And then that they will show me or tell me what it is that it's about, that they're getting ready to talk about, like that they cherish, that they carry with them. They'll also sometimes communicate that as part of their heaven, right? So this morning, I connected with a gentleman and his cousin came through and he said, "This is my heaven." And he showed me riding like a motocross bike. And that, like, he's doing this on the spirit side. And the gentleman here, my client, did reply, yeah, like he used to do this, like they used to ride, and he showed me all these outdoor scenes and like that. This was he said the good part from my childhood and the idyllic part, and this is what I do in heaven. So I love that he said this is the good part from my childhood and this is part of my heaven. So they definitely carry all the good memories, experiences, and they're able, in some way that I don't claim to understand, recreate them. They're able to spend time with people that they loved, that they spent time with here, and doing the things that they loved here, certainly, and in their own way. Yeah. That is very real to them too. It's not like us. They tell me it's not like how we dream of something or imagine something. It's almost like the closest way that they can describe this to me is like virtual reality. And I've had, especially kids say this to me like that, had done that here, they'll say the closest you can come to understanding this is if you were to like experience virtual reality of doing this, except it's more real than that. Like this is real for us. And a lot of times they'll show me going back to, and even sometimes kids who didn't meet grandparents here. And sometimes it's like across generations. They'll go back to like old houses, places like from many, many years ago that they'll go to visit. So if it's something that they want to experience, whether it's because they didn't even get to experience this with their loved one in this lifetime, it's kind of like grandma and grandpa will show like their grandkids that pass around, like they'll show them around, like this is where we live, this is our house, this was our farm. With specifics, the other day somebody showed me a yellow house, a yellow house, and there was this historical society, and there were things in this historical society with their name on it still. And my client said, yeah, there is a yellow house, and it was her grandfather who like kind of like, it was showing me a wagon wheel, like trailblazed to the west. It was crazy cool. So they'll show me that, and then being able to have those experiences on the spirit side again. Okay. I hope that I don't know who asked that question, but if there's anything more specifically you want to ask about that, go ahead. I can't see all the comments. Any comments, Jonas, you want to share? Read.
Quite a few. There's a lot of very positive supporting comments, which I'm very happy to have. You guys are always wonderful. I'm glad to be able to read chat for my mom. Let me go try and find a good one. Linnea wanted to ask, have you ever helped find the missing body of a person who has transitioned?
Yeah, I have. Now, this is not work I do. Like, I don't officially do missing persons, but if it happens to come through in a reading and that's important to the person here. Now I can't say and let me back up, you guys. I'm not responsible for, like, I've never led somebody to find the dead body, right? Like that kind of thing. But they will bring through validation that ends up connecting maybe at a later point. Oh yeah, that ended up being like close to where they were, that kind of thing. I have gotten that before. I was involved one time with some other mediums, and I remember it being like some kind of training base or something, and I kept getting like specific like parameters, and I was like seeing a compass, and I'll get sometimes symbols for that. Now, one thing really, this was like years ago when I started, like maybe 6-7 years ago, I connected for a lady who, oh my goodness, it was a country in South America, and I'm drawing a blank right now, but her brother had passed and didn't know anything. It was just, like most of my readings, unless we've already had a previous reading, not knowing them or anything about them. And so it's like he placed me in this scene, and that's almost become my signal. And when somebody places me in a scene, like very specific, I can almost think, oh, there must be something here, that some detail about their passing they're wanting to clarify or bring to light. And he showed me being on like a street corner, and he had some sort of interaction with another man who pulled a knife on him. And he said, I wasn't clear-headed. I take responsibility for this. I shouldn't have been like in this altercation. So, and I think he may have been intoxicated. But he showed me clearly there, him leaving his body. And I said, and he showed me kind of like zoomed out a little bit, where I saw that there was like a big old like church behind like where he was. And then at the end of the reading, she told me, actually, she might have stopped me before the end because it was very significant to her. She said that the body was found hung inside that church. And she and the family always felt like it was not suicide, but homicide. So that was, that's probably the most profound reading, that to my knowledge, because she shared the information with me, of like helping bring closure to a family. And it's, it's the truth that matters, right? It might sound sad to go, oh my gosh, he was murdered, but they knew this, like they felt it, like the family intuited, like he wouldn't do this. This is not this is not right. So it actually brought them, the family, a lot of peace, knowing what happened. Unfortunately, she said their government was corrupt and that they probably would not be able to pursue justice. She had an idea of who it might have been already. And he brought through some details about the connections he had with this guy. He was very much like, I shouldn't have been like messing with this guy. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I take responsibility for this. He didn't seem to be pressing like, justice is in, I'm sure because he knew that that wasn't going to be possible, but his intent was for his family to know the truth of what happened, right? And for them to have that peace of mind, even if it can never be proven legally that he was murdered and it was not a suicide. And the interesting thing about that, a year or two later, this client, I gave a reading to her mom, and it was really sweet. Her mom was not English speaking, and so she interpreted for her. But both of them expressed to me actually how healing that was. So that was really good for me to hear too, because there's a high degree of responsibility with this work. But you guys, I know that I only relay that because it was so clear to me. Spirit will make it very clear when they know this might be something difficult for me to relay. But when it comes to like details about their passing, they're typically very clear about what it is that they want to relay. Yeah, so I know that's not the same as the missing persons, but anyway, that just came to mind with that. Can a spirit actually tell you they knew they were going to pass away a day or so before? Oh, this is so interesting, Lisa. Yes, actually, I tend to get this more. What do I have my AirPods in? I tend to get this more when a person was sick, right? Like when they were going to pass from illness. Jonas, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, I don't think I was connecting through my phone. I'm like, I don't know what my AirPods in. Okay. Make sure everybody can hear me. Now, when somebody is going to pass unexpectedly, these are the kind of messages that I've gotten. Like my soul might have known, and I might have said something kind of odd, but there doesn't seem to be as much of a human or logical comprehension of that, if that makes sense, right? Like sometimes, especially younger people that pass will say, I always felt like something was going to happen to me. And a lot of times most of the time when they say something like that, their parent or whoever I'm connecting with will say, yeah, like he or she used to say that. A lot of times it comes through as like kids especially, like we're very much like live in the moment, not a lot of foresight. And what they will do is they'll tell me that in a reading. I very much lived in the moment. My soul knew, I didn't have a conscious awareness of it, but it's like, I knew this. A lot of times they'll say like, I knew I wasn't going to be an old man or an old woman. So I knew I wasn't going to have a family of my own. I knew I was only going to live at home with my parents, or I knew I was only going to know the love of my mom's arms and my mother's arms. So depending on their age, those are the type of messages I get. So they don't typically, once in a while, I will have a reading where somebody will come in and circle an age and say, I knew this is exactly, or my soul sees now, rather, right? So it's kind of like, I believe, just based on my connections and experiences, is like the soul knows before it comes sometimes. But then there's this forgetting here that we're kind of supposed to have, right? And then afterwards, it's like, okay, I remember, right? It's kind of like when we can kind of relate to that in ways here, right? Like, oh yeah, I've forgotten about that, and now I remember. So I get those kind of messages, not as much now. When it comes to people who are terminal, elderly, this happened just, I think it was Saturday. I gave a reading, yes, and to a couple of sisters, and their mom came through, and she said she talked about the something that happened with her voice, her throat. She's like, I knew at that point, like, I was going to pass, So that's more though the family's anticipating her passing, and her wanting to talk about like, yeah, she had this knowing. And then she said, I started seeing my past loved ones. And she said, they know what I'm talking about here. And so I said, your mom's saying you guys know this. And she said, yeah, she was able to communicate about it. So she was able to communicate. A lot of times people who who pass from illness and have like more of that long transition time before they pass will show me that they saw the people around them in the room, their past loved ones had come for them, but often they are not in a state of being able to communicate it to their loved ones here. But in this particular reading Saturday, this mom said that they know this, like go ahead and say I was having visions and I was seeing it. And they said, yeah, she was. So in some way she was able to communicate that to them and they knew it. So yeah. Great questions you guys have here.
Mm-hmm.
I love these in-depth questions. I feel like there's another one. Was there one that somebody asked that I didn't touch upon? I don't know.
Oh, there's been quite a few. We'll have to sort of rapid fire them. Tracy wanted to ask, how do you know who to answer from the other side first? Are there certain signals or sensations that are stronger to know who to address first?
Oh, interesting. So for me, you guys, for example, by the way, before I came on here, I also got a Robert or Bob. Actually, Robert or Rob, I think is what I wrote down. I got the number 47 or numbers 47 as well. And actually, I must have had, and this might have been Albie, whoever it was before, I actually got an impression again of somebody wearing running shorts. Anyway, so what happens is, when I sit down to connect, or like even here doing these little hellos, I will get a sense of your loved ones gathered around. So you guys, if you're ever like at a party or in a room with a bunch of people, that feeling, you can feel like it's not just seeing and hearing, but feeling the energy being thick like that. So that is usually, that happened today in my second reading this morning that I gave. My client, the guy, I told him, I said, there are a lot of people around you. I could feel it. And sometimes I'll just get a feeling there's just one person. So the best way I can explain it is, it's just like in life. If I go in a room and there's a bunch of people that kind of feel, I don't want to say suffocating because it's not negative, but it is that feeling, of that intensity of when there's a lot of energy in the room. Now I will get kind of like a shadowing, like clairvoyant, meaning seeing in my mind's eye several people. So when I first sat down and I said, let's see who comes through, I could see kind of like an elderly man in the shadows, but then all of a sudden this young man was like right in front of me. So that's typically what I'll do. So I was like, okay, there's an older man here. And it's interesting because the dad came through too. So it might've been, I was picking up on him being around, but then they control like the order, so to speak. I don't really have to, I just have to have I have to be clear and centered. I've heard mediums say I'm lining them up. The medium saying that might be the medium's practice of getting clear and centered, but I don't feel like I line them up. I feel like they line themselves up, and it's my job just to be as clear-headed and as centered as possible, because if I'm scattered, I'm going to have a hard time tuning into like who's standing right in front of me. So great question. Yeah. And then it'll kind of go from there. It might be, I might hear something, I might see something. So my senses will work together. Yeah. Sometimes it's like this symbol, the gratitude. Sometimes I just feel the emotion of it. Typically when it's quick like this, they're going to be giving me quick little things, right? In a one-on-one reading, there's a lot more emotional connection and like blending, feeling like I'm taking on the person that I'm connecting with. Yeah. Hope that makes sense to you guys.
I'd like to think it did, but then again, nothing you say ever makes sense to me.
I do believe you guys. So Lisa, I want to say one more thing about this. And like this, maybe it's Albie nudging me to talk about this, is that they know, even if they can't communicate it, especially when there is that transition period before they pass illness or old age, what have you, they become very much like connected to almost like the other side. I kind of feel like that it's like they're already starting to leave their body. And maybe here their experience is that they're really just as aware of what's going on the spirit side as they are of the people around them here, right? Like ongoing, like for me as a medium, I'm connecting at specific times. It seems like people before they pass are really starting to live in that space. So they're starting to like have this kind of like split awareness of like, oh yeah, my people, I'm surrounded by love here and I'm surrounded by love here. So they kind of are in this space of being able to discern both their loved ones here, their love for them, them being around them, caring for them at the same time as kind of like getting a glimpse to the other side and where they're going already. So I do believe that they do have a knowing. Now, as far as like talk about sudden passings, and I know I addressed the part of like a lot of times they'll say things that are odd all their life and then they suddenly pass away, and they may have said things like they had a feeling they weren't going to live long, but as far as like in that moment that they pass, they typically don't know. But what they do express to me is this sense of like being pulled out of their body before the trauma. So I saw that actually in my reading this morning. Yeah. Quite frequently they'll show me that like I was pulled away before my heart stopped beating. That's their way of communicating their experience to me in a way that I can understand, of them being protected and not feeling any pain in their body. So their heart might still be beating. This happens a lot with car accidents, you guys. They'll show me like angels or loved ones, or just this sense of being yanked out of their body, and almost kind of like a last glimpse of a memory, like wherever they are. I might see like water on the road where it was wet or something like that. And a lot of times, the person might go on and say, well, they were maybe ejected, the body was, and the person be like, no, I was like gone before that. Yeah. So don't ever worry about that. If your loved one passed a traumatic passing, that they were not protected. I believe that we all are, or will be. I don't believe that there's any exceptions to that when it comes to traumatic passings, even if they don't show that to me. I've seen it so many times. And, that's protection we all have. We all have that, right? Can a spirit lead someone still in this life to the actual place where they know the person's spirit should leave this world? So I don't know. See if it's, you say cat lady like it's a bad thing. I love the what do you call that title there? I think you're asking, can they show you where you're going to leave? Is that what you mean by that? I'm not clear about what the question is. So the person's spirit should leave this world. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it gets communicated that, again, like they knew they weren't going to live long here. Sometimes it's like, I was supposed to be this age for a certain way. Everybody's path is different, you guys. And soul planning is like ongoing. So I posted this post from Renita Morjani last week, and this really resonated with me based on what spirit communicates with me. Everyone either knows, meaning knows like in advance, or their soul decides in that moment that it's their time to go. And so sometimes spirit tells me this, we get really hung up on like, what did we know before we came? But it's really important to know, just like our loved ones, their souls knew, even if their conscious awareness does, our souls know too. And our souls are always planning for our highest good. And so in Renita Morjani's post, it was like, they may decide that they can do more on the spirit side, with continue their life on the spirit side. They never think of their life as ending here, but continuing. So the soul either knows in advance or decides in that moment, I can do more on the spirit side, and that's their soul's mission and their soul's purpose, or create a situation where you pass in a certain place. Oh goodness. I suppose if it's your time to go, like, they will be supportive. As far as like me connecting with spirit, when it comes to them communicating about the end of the life or being with somebody here at the end of their life, they are always focused on comfort and knowing that you're not alone and that the person isn't alone regardless of the circumstances. So I don't know if I'm qualified to answer that question or not, if that makes sense. Yeah, create the situation. I do believe that if you're supposed to pass in a certain way or at a certain place, then yeah, they're always working behind the scenes on our behalf. So, and they're very close. They're aware. You guys, when I talked about somebody who passes instantly or traumatically, even if they don't have a conscious awareness, spirit, their loved ones, their angels are already there before it happens. So there is this awareness from the spirit side. It's almost like we see what's getting ready to happen and we're there. And they don't always have control over the earthly situation. So I think in some ways they can certainly help us. And if there's ways that they can to make it not just more comfortable for us, but give our loved ones that we leave behind more peace, and they're able to do so, then they're going to do so. I don't know, I don't believe that that they can control, all the specific aspects around in that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. They seem to be most concerned with helping us in a way that's going to bring us peace and our loved ones peace, and whatever that means for us. And I know that isn't always, create the situation where you pass in a certain place. Yeah, I mean, I think so. If it's going to be for our highest good and for like our loved ones, I feel like at that point, they're probably, because you guys, Spirit always communicates this to me, your loved ones, that everyone's passing is always more traumatic on their people here than them, because they do have all of this support, support, and they're not necessarily attached to the body like we might think they are. So I feel like the concern, if it's for the highest good of the people here that you're leaving behind and they're able to, if it's something that they're able to do, then they're going to certainly be supportive of that. It's one of these things that I'm always writing, like they know that we have free will. One time I connected with somebody who passed in a car accident, and somebody came through and said his angels were with him, and they gave me a name, and it was I don't remember the name now, but it was a unique name. It wasn't a common name. And they showed me an elderly man, and they showed me angels trying to stop a situation. This gets into probably a whole other discussion. I'm opening up a can of worms here. But the person told me that was the man that was the name of the man who hit my person and caused the accident. And he survived it. He was an elderly gentleman. The family had taken his keys away from him. He wasn't supposed to be driving. He had dementia. And that's one thing I've never forgotten, because that's an example to me of how our angels cannot always interfere or intervene. Having that said, there seems to be an alignment or a reconciliation of is reconciled, everything is reconciled for the highest good, right? Anyway, so yeah, thanks for the questions, you guys. I know we've been here over an hour. I don't want to keep you guys and let you go on with your evening. If you're just joining me or joined me since I've started, go back and listen to the replay so you can catch the validations and messages. And I will be watching out in the days to come for your comments. I don't think I've never done one of these where the messages don't get placed. Sometimes it happens to be like after the fact. Especially with those first ones, we're just with the social media people being in and out. But let me know. I love knowing that the messages get placed. That's what motivates me to come back and do this again in the future. Right? So knowing that it works in this format, there's always like a level of trust in this for me, just putting it all out there, not getting to work through it like in readings. Okay. Oh, you're so welcome. Thanks you guys all for joining me. Any other questions, Jonas, that you think I should take, or any comments you want to read before we go? Because I don't see all the comments. I don't know which comments I'm seeing, but I only see a few at a time.
Oh, we have a ton of whole boatload of questions.
Oh, you know what I realized? I'm just seeing the Instagram comment.
Yeah.
Thank you, Instagram friends, for joining me. This is my first time doing an Instagram live. So I haven't had the following on Instagram like on Facebook. So I really appreciate all your comments. But we should take a couple from I don't know if they're on YouTube at all.
There's a few.
Oh, good. You guys, so a funny story. Last time we did this in December, we went on YouTube, and no, but I haven't worked YouTube at all. But well, why not put it on there? But and nobody, I don't think anybody watched it. But I had a client this morning that at the end of the reading, he said, Rachel, I noticed you're on YouTube. And I was like, yeah, I am. In fact, we're going live tonight. So it's like, oh, he was like, I'll try to watch. So maybe we have a YouTube follower, but it sounds like it if we have some comments there. Okay, Jonas, I'll let you talk.
Oh yeah. Oh, all right. Shoot, let me find one. There's a really interesting one by Emily. Here it is. All right. Do you find that around the time of anniversaries or birthdays that spirit becomes more present? Dorothy's birthday is this week, and garage doors are opening by themselves, and our fire alarm has been going off for no reason, even though the batteries have changed.
Yeah, for sure. I do believe that. Yeah, absolutely. I would say that's absolutely her coming through and letting you know she's around. We've noticed that. Have you Jonas, like around Perry's birthday, like the signs and things too, especially the early years, we would get like a lot as his birthday and the anniversary of his passing. So no doubt. Just say hello and thank you, my darling. Yeah. Love that. Great question. And the balloons, she loves the balloons. For whatever reason, I'm seeing balloons too. So I'm assuming you guys are celebrating her and she knows it. And we'll be there with you. Okay, other questions or comments?
Does spirit ever come back to you after you've completed a session, give you more info that they maybe forgot to give during the session, or even to thank you for helping to make the connection?
Yes,
Sarah
actually.
wanted to ask.
I get thank yous a lot at the end of a reading, which is really sweet. Yes. So here's the thing, you guys. When I leave a reading, if there's still information hanging there, it doesn't happen often these days, but if there is still something there, that's my signal to know, okay, there's something about this I either didn't get or misinterpreted. And so I have no problem. I have called clients back. I've sent them emails and saying, hey, I think there's something, but sometimes it'll kind of come to light. Or maybe sometimes it's just like maybe they know how their person received it and it's a clarification. You know what I mean? Like something like that. They want to make sure they received it in the way that I meant to communicate it and that they meant to communicate to me. But absolutely. That's a great question.
Yeah. Do you ever have a reading where you get nothing?
So yeah, I feel like I connect or I don't. Now, if I get nothing, that's usually just an energetic factor. So here's what happens. If I sit down and I'm not getting anything, I will usually tell the client. Now, I can also have it that there's energetic factors when I say energetic factors, you guys, I mean, it's not the ideal time to connect. Okay. I will assume it's me. I have no problem. And I say, because I don't know, right? It might be a combination of me, the client, maybe the client's rushed or busy or extremely emotional in the moment. I don't know. I don't always know. It might be. I've had it happen that I've not been able to connect. And then like I've come down with something. So sometimes it's spirit protecting my energy or just my energy not being, like where it needs to be to make a clear connection. So yeah, I will tell the client, things should be moved. I can usually tell pretty early on because sometimes what will happen is like things will get stuck in my head. So I might get an image right away. I might make a connection, and then it's like moving through. What do you call it? The mud, where you walk through the mud.
Oh, quicksand.
Yeah, quicksand. It's like I feel like my brain's walking through quicksand or something like that, or nothing. And I'll just tell the person, "Hey, I'm sorry, this isn't you. It's not your person. It's probably me. It's definitely energetic factors." And so most of the time, the person will opt to reschedule and we'll do that and have a great reading. So that's how I know it's usually just an energetic factor in the moment, because when we reschedule, it's usually a great reading. Only a handful of times, honestly, from times where I haven't been able to make the connection. Sometimes just having out the opportunity, like, do you want a refund? I'm always going to get somebody a refund if that's what they want, for sure. Even if it's not going like I feel it should, like if it starts to slow down and things aren't connecting and there are certain things that I feel like should be connecting, I will offer a refund as well or a reschedule. Typically, there's just like a misalignment of the energy for, all the factors that have to be into place to make a good reading. Sometimes I think it's amazing that it happens at all, especially when I have those times. So occasionally, haven't had it happen in a long time, and I don't have it happen frequently, knock on wood. So, but very occasionally. Now, it happened more in my early years, I think, hindsight, because I didn't have the level of confidence I had, right? So early on, if I got like 3 no's in a row, instead of going to spirit, like, what am I missing about this? When I'm beginning, I would like, I would be more self-conscious and be like, I'm sorry, this should be connecting with you. And I'm sorry, it's not, let me give you a refund. Right. So, but now I kind of like, I take the no as like, okay, this just means there. Sometimes things can have more than one meaning to me. Sometimes you guys have to realize that all of your loved ones have, not just me, but any medium, like they have experiences. They had experience here that I haven't had. They have knowledge that I don't have. We're all different people, right? So even Jonas, who is like only 20 years old, has had experiences I haven't had. So when you think of it this way, when they come through having to communicate through a medium, some of what they're bringing through are going to be just things that medium is not experienced with, no matter how well traveled or well intelligent or whatever. And they have their own way of communicating. So we have to get in alignment as a medium. I have to get their vibe. It's sort of like meeting people in life, right? Connect with people in life, reading people in life, and having a conversation with them that flows. You kind of have to be able to get a perspective of where they're coming from. Okay, that was more than what they asked. I'll let you share another comment or question, Jonas.
Someone on Instagram wanted to ask if there is a Joe coming through.
Yeah, I don't think Joe. I don't know if I got any name. Did I get names today in the? I don't think I got names in the connection today. I don't. I got Robert or Rob, like a hello before I got on here from. But you guys, all your loved ones are around you. Nobody's closer to them than you. I tell my clients, like, they come to me because you bring them with you, right? I'm simply their translator. If they're not around you, then I'm probably not going to get any communication from them. So I know that sounded odd because I didn't get Joe. But there's a lot of people watching, a lot of people joining, and people will come through. Sometimes somebody will come through that they know several people will relate or feel the messages to, that kind of thing. So it does not mean at all that Joe isn't around you. And that's for all of your loved ones. Know that they're around you. There's nobody closer to them than you. So ask them for a sign, ask them to make their presence known in some way. This is only one of the many, many ways they communicate with you, right? They can come to you in your own dream visits. They can send you signs through numbers, through nature, through music is a big deal. Synchronicities, things happening, feeling them, getting goosebumps, you guys. So more importantly, stay open to all those ways that they're already communicating with you, not just Joe's loved one, but all of you guys. Okay, since I have hit mostly Instagram questions, Jonas, are there any in Facebook or YouTube? I want to make sure I get a couple from YouTube or Facebook if there's any there.
Not too many now. Michael Christopher just joined, wanted to say hi, and we have another Instagram question. Hi there, is there any chance my grandmother has come through?
Yeah, again, so like I just said, with that, just know that they're around you and look out for their signs for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I made the connections earlier, Mariana. I think I had someone's mom came through that got identified, and I think she was the only female that came through in this one. But yeah, I definitely will be doing these again. Mike, I want to shout out to. He's a medium friend of mine. We did a group reading together. Was that January, Mike? It was, really awesome group reading connection. And we'll have to plan one of those again sometime. But yeah. So any specifically YouTube or Facebook comments, Jonas, that you can tell?
Abby just wanted to ask, can you connect with people who have committed suicide?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That they come through no less strongly, sometimes more so, because they're so adamant about wanting their loved ones to know that they're okay and that they're at peace. And there's definitely no judgment on the spirit side. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people that pass by suicide, that come through in readings loud and clear, for sure. Was that YouTube or was that Facebook?
That was Abby on Facebook.
Okay. Any YouTube comments or questions?
We have not. No, not for a good while
Okay.
now.
Okay. Just to make sure. So thanks, you guys. Any other questions speak to you, Jonas, or anything you want to share?
I just see. I just saw a question backlogged from a little while ago. Tony wanted to ask from YouTube, what about our animals? Have you ever connected with our four-legged friends?
Yeah, I don't know who the little Pekingese dog was today. That's who we had with him. Yeah, absolutely. I have a yeah, animals come through quite frequently. They come through with your two-legged loved ones, right? I have given readings where the entire reading was with someone's pets. And I really love that. I think because most people who have pets that have passed also have like humans that have passed. But there are a lot of people who have bonds with their pets closer than their human people, or maybe they haven't lost humans but have lost fur babies, and that's really, really sweet. Their energy I find to be like babies. Like they're very innocent. They're very much like when the first time I connected with a pet, at first I thought it was somebody's baby, but it was like I kept seeing like a person, like people, like their calves. I couldn't see people's faces. I kept seeing like their feet and their lower legs. So take that as a hello, Los Angeles 90404, the Pekingese. Yeah, the kid, and that was like, oh, it took me like it. So it was like they were placing me in their memory, and I was like seeing their people like from their perspective, right? So I'd see like the bottom of the couch, the door. They like show me car rides. If they went on adventures, they'll show me that. But they'll show me their people and like looking up at them. It's really sweet.
Aw.
So great question. Glad we caught that. I was like, there's one there I wanted to get. Okay.
Oh, that's so sweet to know.
Yeah.
Looks like we have 3 more. Probably could shoot through them pretty quick. Alexandra from Facebook wanted to ask, do you have to wait a certain amount of time after someone's passing before doing a reading?
No. I've had people come, oh my gosh, the first time this happened, they were like, it's Tuesday. And the person was like, yeah, their service is going to be Tuesday. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. We haven't, they had just passed. So I think that's as soon as I've connected with somebody was like the day, after they passed. Now, as far as like a full reading goes, if you want to connect with just one person that just passed, I think they know there's a certain amount of like emotional processing we need to go through. They do tend to like to come through right away though, and bring through really strong validation. Sometimes I find that more recent a person has passed, the stronger the validations are, but they may not have the in-depth, like it may not be like an hour-long reading, you know what I mean? Or other loved ones might come through with them. So I've never had it happen that somebody had an intention to like booked an hour-long reading and their person just passed. Like I have had like a couple weeks. I have had that happen because I have given readings to people where they did pass just a couple weeks ago. So I guess that isn't true, like, and communicated like the whole time. So it really depends on the state of the emotional state of the person here in the moment. I hear a lot of mediums. I think this is just a blanket statement. I know some mediums won't give a reading to somebody unless it's been like 3 months, or they'll say like you have to, that it takes them so long. They seem to have no problem communicating. It seems to be dependent upon our emotional state in the moment. But you guys, I've given readings to people who, it's been years since their loved one has passed, and we start out the reading and they're breaking down, very, very emotional, and we can't do a reading. So it's more about the, even at the beginning of the reading, like they're too emotional to be able to really hear what I'm saying. even I've had that happen. So I have learned, this is just based on my experience, that it's most dependent on our emotional state in the moment, right? So if it's been a couple weeks and you're able to, like, feel like you can receive, that's the thing too. They're only going to bring through what we're able to, like, emotionally receive at that time too. There's so much processing we have to go through with grief and a lot of shock, and when we're still in that state of shock, that's going to determine, like, what comes through or what they bring through. But I feel like they love to bring through evidential validations that they're okay and they're still alive and well when they've just passed. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
All right.
I've given some really cool readings where they've come through and basically helped their loved ones plan their memorial service. Isn't that cool?
That is.
You've had that happen. And, like, details and I think, wow, what would it be like to be their loved one here going into, like, mom or dad's memorial service, going, oh yeah, they picked this out, they told me to get this, they did this. Like, how comforting is that, right? So yeah.
Aww. All right, real quick. Sarah wanted to ask, quick question regarding family readings, a limit on number of people allowed to attend.
No. Typically, no, that's fine. So if you want to book a family reading, I mean, if you have more than, like, 10 people, I don't know if everybody would get a message, a personal message. There'd be some, like, shared validations and messages. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of family readings lately. I gave one to the really sweet reading last weekend to a group of siblings, a large group of siblings, and the amazing dad came through. Actually, that's a spirit story in this week's podcast episode. So if you haven't checked out our podcast, Get Spirited, you can hear about that reading Wednesday. It comes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Super proud of that episode.
Yeah. I love family readings.
All right. Nikita wanted to ask from Facebook, do you believe spirits can move balloons?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything like lightweight, you guys. Sometimes they come through saying they've moved some stuff and their people validated. I'm like, I don't know how. It's nothing, like, super heavy, but yeah, they can. That's how they can. Well, my earring, Jonas, like, Perry messed with. I have this little, like, push button green Christmas light, and green happened to be his favorite color, pair of earrings. And the red one never did this, but the green one started going off at random times, like only on or near significant days. And it was, like, crazy. So yeah, they definitely can manipulate balloons for sure. Candles are a big thing. That's a way. Invite your loved one in, light a candle. Like, no wind, that seems to be easy for them, or easier. I don't know if any of it's easy, but able to. A lot of people will show me that, and they're, that they will make the candles flicker. Yeah. And I think that's why electronics sometimes, because when you think about it, the wiring can be sensitive and lightweight. There's something about that they can manipulate as well. I'm not a scientist, so that's all I can say about that. But balloons, yeah. Sometimes they'll show me, like, having balloon. Something's coming to mind in a reading I gave a few years ago, and, like, I saw the person in spirit, like, carrying one balloon, like they were present with their loved ones for this birthday party they had for them after they passed. And they were carrying one balloon. I'm like, and then there was a group of balloons over here. And the way spirit is, like, playing charades with me, showing me they're carrying this balloon to the side. And then I can see over to the left, there's, like, a big group of balloons. And they were like, yeah, this one balloon got away and we never knew how. And, like, we put it back and it didn't stay with the group of balloons. So I love those kind of validations.
With that, I believe we have caught up with the questions. Jeez, if I could talk, that'd be great. At least on Facebook and YouTube. I've been keeping an eye on Instagram, and I believe we're all caught up there. There's been so many. I wish I had a chance to read out everyone's messages, but there have been so many inspiring and positive, upbeat, good messages. I'm so glad to be able to moderate and co-host this live stream event. It's been an absolute delight. But real quick, Nikita wanted to say thank you. My son was 7 when he passed, and we have some crazy things happen with balloons.
Yeah, trust for sure. Yeah. No doubt. Oh, thank you, Alex. That's really sweet. Just think you're the best from Instagram. So, Jonas, do you want to pull a card, a group
Oh yeah.
collective card for us?
Oh, I'd love to. We did this. What was that? Last night, I believe so.
Yeah, last night I kind of like put
Yeah.
you on the spot with it.
So I have this same deck we've been using on the podcast. Kyle Gray's The Divine Masters. Absolutely love this deck. Beautiful artwork. Um,
Can you show us the yeah.
yeah, right there. That's the box artwork. I think it's really it's I wish I could find the right word to say about it. It's a really great deck. I love using it. It's probably out of all of them I've used, it's probably my favorite.
Yeah, it's really cool artwork.
And the one nice thing about doing this over a live stream instead of a podcast is that I can actually show everyone the artwork, which is my favorite thing about it.
Yeah, right.
All right, so looks I oh my gosh, I think we've already I think I've already pulled this out like 2 or 3 times on the podcast already. It's Shiva Karma release. The end
Yeah.
of a cycle, debts are paid, choose your destiny.
Oh, can you show us?
Yeah,
There we go.
here you
Yeah,
go.
that is a beautiful card.
It's the artwork is great, message is great. I absolutely love this.
Yeah, that is right. Jonah shared a message, I think, on this week's podcast. Is that the one that's on there this week?
I think it
Like bad
is.
habits, and yeah, I think it might be at the end of this episode 7, maybe last week. I don't know, but yeah.
They
So
I'll I've spent way too much time editing every episode and whatnot that I cannot remember what
what was the
it all just blends together.
Yeah,
The message was Shiva Karma release. The end of a cycle, debts are paid, choose your destiny.
yeah. Love that. I think that ties into a lot of the deep questions we got here tonight with like soul planning and our loved ones knowing ahead and all of that, the mystery of it all. Yeah. And I love the and I think Jonah, are you feeling a message in it?
Um Not particularly.
That's
I
okay.
believe last time I said something about how, again, take this with a grain of salt. I'm not a medium, but I believe it. I believe it has something to do with breaking bad habits, and spirit is involved with ending of unhealthy relationships.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what I kept being drawn to that, like the message that you gave. But again, I think it aligns too with the new moon in Pisces. Oh, very
Oh,
cool.
could be. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope to do this again before long. Jonas and I have talked about doing a live stream maybe like once a month. Was that your once a month?
Oh
We just
yeah,
got to
something like
get
that.
our schedules in alignment that it works out, regular time for both of us. But it's
Yep.
also okay, I guess, to switch it up a little bit. Yeah. So okay, so I don't know when we're going to go live again, but I will certainly let you know in advance again. You're so welcome, you guys. Again, you guys, I'm sorry. I only see like a little bit of Instagram comments and not all the ones from Facebook and YouTube. It works out well when I'm doing the readings, but then chatting and not being able to interact, I will. But next time when I'm, not doing the readings as much, I'll resort to my phone too. But Jonas, you actually did a great job reading the questions. So I just I'm used to like doing this by myself. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute, you're here. I got to get used to that, having your support. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, thanks again, you guys. And I hope you have a great rest of your night. Just remember your past loved ones are always with you. You're the ones they're with. They only come to me because you bring them with you. And if they don't come to me, they're still with you. So ask them for a sign, ask them for a visit, and then stay open and pay attention. Okay. Thanks again and take care.